Hello everyone and welcome back to the Metroid Prime 100% commentary walkthrough. Yep, so we are back, part 21 I believe, headed off to go to the wreck ship, go to the Phazon Mines, and be done with this game almost. So little bit of what I wanted to talk about today. So if you did not vote yet for the next Metroid game I should do commentary for, go ahead and do that because I'm going to be picking it at the end of this walkthrough. So sooner the better. And anyway, so today I've noticed I've gone over some of my previous commentary and I have not really had that much to talk about, if that makes any sense. I have not been that talkative or had anything really useful to say. So today I'd like to talk about the general idea of Metroid in games in terms of Nintendo and just overall. So what I want to say about it is that Metroid is kind of a unique franchise for Nintendo that they don't always seem to be keen to know what to do with, if that makes any sense. So what I mean by that is that when it comes down to it, Nintendo kind of generally prefers to, for some reason, leave Metroid alone and not really do anything. And I think the reason is because they don't really know what to do with Metroid. Maybe I'm wrong in assuming this, but that's my general impression, is that it's a very unusual kind of franchise for Nintendo to be kind of working with, if that makes any sense. But yeah, so I'm gonna try to make a little more sense here. What I mean is that you don't really see much Metroid compared to other games such as Mario and kind of Zelda and stuff, and we haven't really seen many new Metroid re-releases and stuff, but so basically what I'm trying to get at is that Metroid is kind of a completely different thing than Mario or Zelda or anything kind of like that in that way. But yeah, just gotta get past the signal here. So now we're pretty deep into the ship here, so now we're gonna start to see some of our first interesting, different pirates, I guess. Yeah. So there are four little nodes in here. You're gonna want to get all four of them. I usually forget one of them, but you should go ahead and get them as soon as possible. So anyway, with my weird thing about Metroid, what I'm basically saying is that we're not really seeing any new Metroid games come out very often. Maybe that's because Nintendo doesn't know what to do with it. Maybe it's a weird kind of thing. But anyway, it's definitely, I think, though, a very important franchise. I mean, to me, especially just because of its uniqueness. Most games are, you see a lot of kind of copy-paste action going on there, and you don't really see so much kind of original stuff, if that makes any sense. So we don't really see too much originality these days. We see a lot of copy-paste redos, remakes that aren't really that special. They're really not even remakes. They're not upgraded. They're just kind of the same game repeated over and over again. Like a lot of Mario games these days, you'll see are just a combination of Mario 3 and Super Mario World, and that'll be it. Also, you can now fry these tentacles with the plasma beam, so that's a good thing to do. But I mean, I'm really not a big fan of just making a game the exact same as another game just over and over and over again. And maybe you guys feel differently on this subject, but I just think that if you're going to go with a franchise, you should give it something original every time, which is something I definitely think that Metroid does a good job of. It's always, different every time. It makes it a lot of fun. It's definitely it's unique, and the community behind Metroid is definitely one of the most unique parts about it. Just that, when it comes down to it, the community of Metroid is it's very important with all the sequence breaking out there, the speed running. Metroid is really special because you can do all that, because there's so many different ways to play the game. I mean, a lot of games, sure, you can speed run it, but really you just have to take the normal route. And in some Metroid games, like Metroid Fusion or Metroid Prime 3, that may indeed be true, but what I'm kind of getting at here is that it's a unique franchise. I've said that word I don't know, 15 times at this point, but I definitely think, though, that it's something that needs to stay around, and I'm really hoping to see more of it. And I really don't know why Nintendo doesn't want to make a new Metroid game. I'm really unsure of that fact because there's definitely a huge community out here, but at the same time, it's a community that really expects quality, if that makes any sense. Like, not that, you know, like the remakes and these, you know, kind of additional games that are basically a remake of the previous ones are like, you know, that they're bad. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that like there needs to be like new content. And when it comes to new content, I mean, like, Metroid is definitely something where you do see a lot of new content a lot of the time. Just generally, every game brings its own uniqueness, its own speedrunning tricks. Everything is just, it's a very unique kind of thing. Also, remember there's a missile expansion right, yep, right here. So yeah, but I don't really know what I'm talking about here too much, but just that Metroid is its own thing, and I really hope to see a lot more of it coming out in the near future. But we are almost out of the wreck ship, and yeah. But I would also like to hear what you guys, your favorite Metroid games are, because I have my own opinions on it. Some people say that, you know, Other M is the worst Metroid game ever. Other people say it was okay, you know. Some people say that, like, Metroid Fusion wasn't that great because it didn't allow much sequence breaking, it wasn't really Metroid. So, a lot of different opinions on the total subject of which Metroid game is the best, which one's everybody's favorites. It's really an interesting question. I personally will say I like pretty much everything when it comes to Metroid, because you have a few different kind of things going on. You can have a game that's basically where you have to follow a specific route, like Metroid Prime 3, or you can or Metroid Fusion or Other M, where there are specific upgrades you have to get in a certain order, but you can backtrack to get more stuff, and you know, stuff like that, where it's really hard to sequence break the game and that like to ever differ from the actual route. And then there are those games that not only allow you to do that, but also encourage you. So like, I'd say Super Metroid is the biggest like component of that one, where it says, please go and sequence break this game. That's definitely something I really do like about Super Metroid, is just that the game has so many different sequence breaks. I mean, from the Crystal Flash to like the Death Beam to, you know, just plain wall jumping and shine sparking. It's definitely a unique kind of thing, in my opinion. Let's see if I can get this double bomb jump right. Yeah. This one's not my favorite, if that makes any sense. You can get a little extra height if you boost at the end of your bomb jump there, but it really shouldn't matter because you should be able to get it. I know in my no commentary walkthrough I did not do such a good job of completing that part so quickly, but yeah. So if you notice though, we have been in this area before, and the reason we actually had to go through the wreck ship at all, I mean, every 80% runner in the world just never goes through there. But if you're just like casually playing the game, I recommend going through the wreck ship anyway. I mean, it's a bit of a pain, but like the reason I recommend going through there is because there are 2 energy tanks. Now, that's about all there needs to be said, because if you're going against Prime, you know, or you're going against Ridley for the first time, or the Omega Pirate even though he's really not too bad, an extra energy tank never hurts, is kind of what I'm saying on this one. Because the energy tanks are they're really valuable throughout all of the game. And the more you collect, the better you'll do, probably. But at the end of the day, you really don't need that many energy tanks, except in the pirate areas, because they will take a lot of your energy very quickly. So just know that. So I'm going to grab a quick save here and kind of end it for this part. I know it's been a little weird since I kind of talked on and on and on about Metroid and its future and stuff, and didn't really say too much, but just kind of wanted to talk a little bit about it and hopefully get some comments going on about that too, because I love the story, the community, the speedrunning, pretty much everything about Metroid. But with that note, I shall see you guys next time with part 22, and remember to vote. So, goodbye.